Today is August 4th, 2026. All right, now, I put it up on Facebook today. And these people need to realize it. Where the FBI hired me as an informant to get information on who is behind the threats and attempts on my life. Okay? Stay up there while there's surveillance for them to get information to find out who was behind it. Unfortunately, it's one of their agents that are involved, Agent John. He is in it with his prostitute girlfriend, Michelle. Okay? Her dad, Pete, / Henry Mauvey / Dirty Doctor, fake Dirty Doctor. Okay? Because he's impersonating all three. Okay? That drug dealer, Will, they checked his credentials May 9th, 26, announced that they are real and he's no attorney. I didn't think he was. He doesn't know one law. He's a drug dealer where they said they were tracking that guy, Will, to bring his drug connections here so they could get him. And how he was showing off and brought them all here. That's how they got outnumbered. All right. Until they got a lot of them. They're wanting them back out and them sue the government. That's what's going on. All right. So who else is involved? And it's probably where it's Agent John's girlfriend's and her dad's family debt to drug dealer. That Will is probably the drug dealer. They're in debt too. Okay. And that Michelle and Pete are Agent John's girlfriend and her dad are related to that Katie at Dave's old church. That's her family member. That's where that family that lost their kid in the traffic accident admitted to an FBI agent March 27th, 25. They were all lying to the FBI to help them get away with this. Didn't even concern them. Why were they lying? Because it's Katie's family. They wanted to steal money from the government. Open a fraud case. And any drug dealers arrested, they could get thrown out for fraud, and their drug dealers would get released and they could sue for tens of millions of dollars. Who else is involved? My ex-daughter-in-law, Melissa, was in it with my ex-husband hiring these people. On confession to Dixie. The group of people they hired to do this. They were drug dealers. Like Agent John's girlfriend admitted it was drug dealers June 26 in front of the Stark County Sheriff's at the Darch Valley restaurant. Drug dealers they hired. Melissa was part of hiring the drug dealers to make sure she got everything in her divorce. And Dave to get everything. And that's where the drugs and told to say it. And photoshopping of washing. Then after the FBI case, Mean Games of Pretend. Documented Mean Games of Pretend. Okay. All right. So, let's see. And then Katie, because it's her family member. March 30th, 26, admitted to people that I was never mean to her, never threatened her. She lied so people would help out. Why? Because it's her family members they're stealing for. Okay? Getting the idea. But that's who's mainly behind it, and then some other church people. But if you get the idea, Agent John was part of setting up this whole con to steal from the government for his prostitute girlfriend that he has to pay to date, and her dad. People have been talking how he's allowing his girlfriend's dad to break in people's homes. He cannot allow him. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent to allow his girlfriend's dad to break in private homes and set up button camera stalking someone? Automatic termination in 5 to 20 years. Without the kiddie porn of my grandkids going potty. Drug, beat, rape, drug confessions, photoshopping, washing, then sextortion off of it. He's pretty well got life. And then open a fraud case and try to steal from the federal government. Okay. What is a jail sentence for an attorney hired by a husband to set up button cameras in a private home, stalking his wife without her knowledge or consent? Does they get disbarred? 5 to 20. Without the drug confessions. See, that's where these idiot people, when you find out, see, I heard people around me, when he laughed at her about that guy, Pete, and that doctor, it's his girlfriend's dad, and he's the one that's Henry Moffitt. Yep. He can't let his girlfriend's dad set up button cameras and break in and do things to people. And like she said, they hired drug dealers to do it. They actually hired Judge Peters Group from Florida. They showed up and announced it was them in my home before. They were the ones hurting me and doing it to me before. Announced at Faith Family Church in January, March of 19. You do realize that? Right. And of course, as I go to leave, there's a fucking dumbass in there. In the VA today. Was walking out and then waited till I walked out. Wait, come say something in my face, bitch. You can't enter stocking tapes by drug dealers. Like Officer Reinhardt in Louisville said, even the FBI would go to jail for being in your home before. No one can be in anybody's home but protected life cases with statements. And they have to have statements from threat of life on everyone in that home. And agree to protect someone. Have a court order. Or even the FBI would go to jail. It's illegal monitoring. Felony invasion of privacy. And that goes into cyber stalking, wiretapping. Yeah, they automatically lose their badge. There was a Summit County sheriff arrested for illegally monitoring somebody in their home. So if a sheriff couldn't do it, why on earth would Agent John's prostitute girlfriend, Dad, be allowed to do it? He's not. Okay, these people are so dumb that did this. Even the cartel has called them dumb. That's bad. How stupid are they? You can't just basically roofie somebody, tell them to say something horrible and have them beaten, raped under drugs, and they don't even know who did it. And say, oh, I'll go along with the drug, beat, and rape. That just makes you an accessory. See, they're a scam now. Okay. And the goofball today, the fucking moron, you do realize that guy that's supposed to be Will's kid already told Wellness Grove on July 30th, 26. Last Thursday. What did she tell him? Huh, honey? What did they tell him? That none of my kids would back the tapes before. Oh, today that guy's like, we're going to fly John up here and he'll verify it. What is he going to do? Verify his own arrest warrant? See, that's where these people, like even the cartel, how dumb are they? These people, you can't just roofie someone and tell them to say something horrible. And say, I'm with the drug, beat, and rape. To get money, right? Nope. You know, you actually have to physically show that you have to have proof. You have to go to the hospital, honey. You have to be treated for injuries. You have to prove there was an injury. There has to be ongoing treatment for an injury. There has to be proof there was an injury. There isn't any. How about calling the police? A police report, investigation. There isn't any. Little problem here, huh? How about physical evidence? There isn't any. But you know what there is evidence of? Me being confused, large bruises, throwing up, severe personal infection, and almost passing out and going to the doctor for injuries I can't explain. Oh. And what did John tell the FBI? July 26, 25, a federal agent. Nothing bad ever happened to him. What did he tell all the electricians in town? I never heard anyone. And it's just these people. What else did John do? He asked me to be a reliable name on a court record to watch his kids and babysit them, but I was working 2 jobs and barely made it. Couldn't help him. What part of this, honey? Nor is he going to. Get the idea. He would just put himself in jail as an accessory. You can't just drug somebody, have him beaten, raped under drugs, drug him and tell him to say something horrible. And say you were part of that at any matter. Like they said, any of our kids ever back the tapes before, they'll end up in jail for them. It's a trick to be arrested. Yeah, not happening. So, we're the stupid apostolic bitch. The godless woman walked by with 2 people when Carl and I last year were down at Sol's Palace. Walked by. Thank goodness we had a doctor tape her on aware. Thank goodness we had that doctor have her say that. They had it done to me. Well, who's the dirty doctor? Agent John's girlfriend's dad, the fake one. The drugs and told to say it by a man that admitted he never met me in person. He's a fucking rapist. Yeah. The one that said he's pulling a fast one on the FBI to steal the case's money for himself. Oh, and of course they had to bring up Melissa's documented lies. You do realize how fucking stupid you sound. The cops, the feds, have all told you they're documenting games of pretend. March 20th, 26th, an investigator from 18 showed up at Walmart West House by the electronics. Said, I haven't found one bit of this funny since that family admitted they were all lying to the FBI when they said it offended them. And they were helping these people get away with it. Why? Because it's Katie's family. We're going to put it that way. I found out Strange hated the government. That's why he tried it with us. Okay. All right. They found him June 3rd, 26, Magnolia Bell Store in the evening. People down there. They said that they found that investigator. He said that Melissa's kids are documenting games of pretend. And that you had said, oh, Karen, we're so sorry about everything. I get that a lot. Got a hold of that investigator. He said that Melissa is mean games of pretend and that you had never hurt anyone. And this is a scam from the human traffickers, the ones that were selling people here a few years ago. It's a big drug scam. So, and that guy works straight with FBI, a different agent than John. So, where you want to say something about Melissa's documenting lies? Oh, during the FBI case, 2 guys showed up, said they worked for a drug lord. Melissa was willing to have them tell them to lie, so they get away with it. They followed her around, caught her telling the kids to lie. The kids dating on Thanksgiving of 18 in a legally bought house. They wanted the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa. Later on to Flora, they were making everything up. They were games of pretend. Sick shit. And if Flora wouldn't have stated it, and next year, I would have never known. See, that's where Dave verifies. I haven't been around everybody more than 5 minutes for the whole year and not alone. See, we only seen John's kids on the holidays. John may have stopped him. John called all the time. But Melissa and the kids didn't come over. Except for if something happened or holidays. We didn't see his kids. They had successful careers, their own social life. We used to call them the Holiday family. Dave verifies it on tape. Yeah. Get the idea. So we're right after Thanksgiving of 18. Officer Mark, lead investigator, was talking to officers. I'd hate to arrest Melissa. He's going to end up arresting her. Her kids are little. For her involving herself in this, we'll write it up that Melissa and the kids were showing off for Dave and his girlfriend. They're documenting games of pretend. Massillon Police, Starr County Sheriff's, FBI. Magnolia Police looked her up. She's documenting games of pretend. January 12th, 22, Officer John. White guy with black hair, black glasses. Been around me since 18. Stopped men at the door where those kids get taped stating they made everything up. October 23rd, 2019, Flora told on him. And where the officer said, right after Thanksgiving 18, Melissa's so stupid she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. They called her stupid. Get the idea. Brielle's first party, October 23rd, 2019. I said, do you know how mad I was when those kids said they wanted the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa? Flora's like, that's not what they said. They said this, and it was filthy. They said they'll make up something, call you a bad word. I thought she was in it with the guy that said he drugged me up with sodium pentothal and told me to say wrong nightgown and butt line. Even some of the neighbors thought it was that. Why are people saying anything? They just drugged her up and told her to say they were wearing this one nightgown and they accidentally seen her butt. What's the big deal? They said they even drugged her and told her to say it. Neighbors were complaining. Until the mean game of pretend came out. Then nobody thought it was funny. And Flora stated it. And Josh went, ooh, don't say it again. It's not true. Well, of course it's not true. Of course it never happened. We made it up. They were games of pretend. Sitting down, chuckling. Chuckling. Sucking her lips and chuckling. I would have spanked them all. Do we understand each other? They were talking about Melissa lying in Pennsylvania. Illinois, Kentucky, 21. And in 19 Kentucky, in Illinois, you'll have it on the web. What do they get tapes dating in the basement? They made everything up. They were games of pretend. They wanted the house for Auntie Shell. See, that's where July 28th, 26. Actually, let me take that back. June 28th, 26. June 28th, 26. Down in Carrollton at that speedway. Have you seen that white guy? I walk in, he said, they told me they were only making fun of you. I found out what's going on. None of this is funny. He was outside my work that night, followed me from Carrollton. He said, I seen her out today. I found out what's going on. None of this is funny. I found out there's a real FBI case. I found out Melissa got taped by them telling those kids to lie. And those kids were taped in the basement, saying they wanted the house for that girl they're all stealing everything for. And they were making everything up. They were games of pretend. He said, is that why there's no evidence of anything? He said, yes, they're documenting games of pretend. He said, then you better tell her to tell everyone not to say a word to her ever again. I heard there's a lady waiting to arrest Melissa. He said, I know about her. She's ready to pounce. Then she better tell everybody never to say a word to her again. That they were all lying for that girl they're trying to steal everything for. And they were games of pretend they made up. And nobody say a word again or she'll end up in jail. I know. So bitch today. Bitch. Little bitch. Or big bitch. I don't care who you are. Saying my granddaughter, the one that documented me in games of pretend, the one that never got hurt in their mean jokes, the one, those, the big liars, nobody got hurt, like the guys that work for the drug lord. There's a big problem. Nobody actually got hurt. Oh, that's a big problem. Another big problem. I have a witness on my phone. Shows the FBI. Went around them the whole year, not 5 minutes, and not alone. Oh, and people knowing that you were going to have them lie. They used to scream about Melissa's lies on the streets of Louisville. October 5th, 21, they were talking about Huntington Bank in front of one of my clients. We went to leave. He's like, who's that crazy Melissa? They all talk about lying everywhere we go. I said the ex-daughter-in-law friends with ex's girlfriend. I had the kids make up some mean games of pretend in front of the police on Thanksgiving of 18. He said, is she crazy? I said, yes. Stark County Sheriff's May of 21. We're talking about some guy named Kurt. Found out those kids are lying. Okay? I was in Pennsylvania. They were talking about that. Kurt found out those kids were lying. He was going to kill Melissa. Got home. Stark County Sheriff's in uniform were laughing. Kurt just found out those kids were lying. He's slow. You guys are slower than a slow guy. See, you just can't say something. You have, like a personal injury attorney for my dog bite, said, it don't matter if a person hurt you, a dog, or an animal, or a vehicle. There are certain things you have to have a case. You have to prove you were injured. You can't just say it. You have to go to the hospital. pictures of injuries to go along with the doctors from the hospital. You have to have treatment for it. You have to call the police. Oh. And because I had a dog bite, I had to have the dog warden. Then I proved I was injured. But if you don't have all that, you can't prove you were injured. You don't got a case. Then you can't just have a witness. You have to have physical evidence leading that animal or whoever it is to them, to that personal injury. Car, animal, person, whoever it is. Physical proof. I had the coat where the dog latched onto my arm. Had his DNA on my coat. I couldn't wash it till we settled. They're mean games to pretend like the drug cartel guys. There's a big problem. Nobody actually got hurt. Oh, there's another bigger problem. When all the police and the FBI already have it on Melissa's name, she's documented mean jokes. I was back down in Magnolia on June 7th. They had the local police look her up. She has documented mean jokes. So that nothing would ever be said because she made it up in the middle of an FBI case in front of all the police. You can't just make something up. And the police need to start doing their job. Since Agent John is corrupt, and he's in this with his girlfriend and her dad running drug scams on people, trying to steal from the FBI. And that's what this is about, him stealing from cases. Setting up fraud cases and stealing for his girlfriend. And then aiding and abetting the cartel so that they get released and they could sue for millions of dollars. Okay. Somebody tells you they were in my home. They have proof they were in my home. It don't matter who the hell they are. They don't have a protected custody case with statements, a court order, and agree to protect somebody in that home. What are you to do, officers? By federal law, you're to arrest them. Felony invasion of privacy, cyber stalking, wiretapping, illegal monitoring, voyeurism, let alone with the drugs, beat, and rape, and the kiddie porn of my grandkids going potty. You're to arrest them. A Summit County sheriff was stalking this girl and illegally monitoring her. He's in jail. President Nixon couldn't bug an office. Like Officer Reinhardt said, even the FBI would go to jail for being in your home outside that protected custody case with statements and agree to protect someone. You had to have a court order too. Even the FBI would go to jail. They tell, these idiot people are so dumb, they tell people the right of privacy don't mean nothing. Yes, it does. You can say it all you want, and don't make it true. See, that's where, these people can't go around breaking it. Agent, what is the jail sentence for an FBI agent allowing his girlfriend's dad to break in private home setting up cameras? Automatic termination from the FBI. Charged 5 to 20 years. It's a felony invasion of privacy, illegal monitoring, and they can't be part of it. See, that's where Officer Reinhardt in Louisville, it's illegal to look and listen. Like my friend that worked at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office, is a big fraud scheme. They did the biggest mistake. They did it in your home. It's not admissible. Massillon Police told them that November 21, nothing they have is admissible. They told them in 19. It wasn't admissible. See what I mean? But they run around and tell people. And see, that's where it makes me mad. You have a uniform on. Somebody tells you they're in somebody's home watching them. You are to arrest them. Don't wait for Agent John. He's just trying to steal from the government. Take care of it. Nip it. So, would any attorney pick up Melissa and her kids for mean jokes? No. Nobody got hurt. Think of this. You just can't make up mean jokes. Where, let's see, July 26, 25 down in Magnolia, they were calling for Melissa's arrest. Well, what gets released? Thanksgiving of 18, where they get hot tape saying they made everything up. And guess what? People were calling for arrest for exploiting your children for profit. Well, where Melissa apparently had told Dixie July 6, 25, when Dixie walked into John's kitchen, Melissa said the group of people they hired to watch her try to lie on the chief of police that he's letting people break in people's homes, set up button cameras watching them, break in and do stuff to them like drug, beat, and rape them. No, he don't. But she admitted she was part of hiring him. Where the original cartel in November, December of 18 was mad at Dave and ratted him out. Who does he think he is talking to us like that? That fucking bastard? That arrogant ass? Who does he think he is talking to us like that? Would he like us to do this to him? We get paid to do it to her. I know. Dave wants us to take her out and kill her. I don't care what he says. Why waste a good woman and when you can sell her? And then he said, Melissa and Dave had this planned out for months before they did it. Well, Dave made a comment. They had it planned since March. Him and a guy named Jack. Okay? That him and Melissa had it planned for months before they did it, to ensure they both got everything in the divorce. And to ensure that when she went for custody of the kids, she couldn't help John in the divorce. And Melissa would get the kids. Dave and her decided she'd be the more appropriate parent. They use Z-drugs on her that erase her memory as it's happening. She has no memory of those people from before and what they did to her. And Dave was part of drugging her in the house when they drugged her and told her to say it before. And they were using those Z-drugs that erase your memory as it's happening. They ratted him and Melissa out. 19, they told Louis about. And acted like Dave and Melissa were a couple. Yeah. And I made comments when I got alone because I know the officers could hear me. I know they got them too. And I said, does John know that his wife was cheating with his dad? Well, he was still married to her? See, that's where even the cartel, girls, how dumb are these people? How dumb are they? You can't just basically roofie somebody and tell them to say something horrible. Then say, oh, I'll verify the horrible, that I was part of the roofie. You go to jail for that. You can't just have mean jokes and nobody got hurt. How dumb are they trying this? You actually have to have medical documentation. Somebody was hurt. Police reports. Physical evidence. How dumb are they? Just thinking they could roofie somebody and have somebody verify it. How dumb are they? You can't do that. You actually have to prove there was an injury. Seen by doctors and prosecution. You can't just make stuff like this up. How dumb are they? Oh, retarded. They are so dumb you want to walk around with a fly swatter and just slap them. These people, where they said they photoshopped all their lies. I used to run around debunking their lies. Okay? And then I got tired of it. One of their lies, okay, now I have Dave and Jen taped. Now, Daniel and Tyler, both in a legally bugged car, also verified that on the 4th of July, John and them were an hour late. We had already ate. They came in, sat on the couch. I took everybody's picture, made their plates, took 2 bites, ran to the basement yelling pillow fights. They never came back upstairs. Okay? I grabbed bottles of water for me and Jen. We're sitting outside. I could hear them playing in the basement. Gabe, Dave, and Noah and John are all outside with us. I'm out with everybody else. About 45 minutes later, it's too hot. We go back inside, dish up dessert. We barely get sat down. He said, John left. I said he didn't say goodbye. He's in a hurry. He was only stopping in for the kids to see the house. Okay? He's got several places to stop today. One of the things they were supposed to Photoshop, this is how dumb they are. And like, even investigator, I told him to stop saying how dumb it, another thing that they Photoshopped. The kids would end up in jail. I keep telling them to stop it. They won't listen. They're supposed to Photoshop me in the bathroom putting yeast infection cream on the sores where I had been drug being raped, and I'm blaming the dirty well water. And I have the bathroom door closed. Okay? They're supposed to be peeking in cracks in the bathroom door. And where I'm putting cream on. That they're laughing. That, oh, she's weird with herself. They were 5 to 8 years old. They don't even talk in their mentality of that. An adult would have had to tell them to say that. Like they said in Magnolia last year, people showed up and said they were using a set of her grandkids to make fun of her for her ex-husband having her drug beat and raped and having to treat the sores in a bathroom. And like they were supposed to be looking in a crack in the bathroom door, watching her treat those sores, and they were making fun of her. The police said, if they find out they're looking in cracks in bathroom doors, those kids are going to go to jail a long time, enlisted sex offenders the rest of their life for being peeking Toms. See how dumb they are. They better thank God I got witnesses. They never came upstairs, because that makes them the sex offender. Somebody put with a closed bathroom door. Nobody has the right to peek into the cracks. You're putting infection cream on yourself, and somebody standing out there making fun of you for being raped for some other girl. That's sick. Satanic. Shows you the evil minds of these people. The things they're supposed to Photoshop, I used to run around debunking. Oh, a Willie Pooh, drug dealer Willie Pooh, that they were all tricking into bringing your drug connections? Drug dealer Will, Pimp Will, where they said he was bringing prostitutes around me and have them say he went out with her instead of them instead of me. Oh, they wanted to make her feel like she wasn't worthy. That didn't make me feel anything like that. It made you look like a sleazeball that you have to go out with prostitutes. And ladies, I am old enough to be your mother or grandmother. And you are way too beautiful to be exploiting your body for some sleazeball. Get away from him. He's nothing but a sleazeball exploiting you. And being my age, watching beautiful young girls being exploited by a pervert and a sleazeball just infuriates me. Didn't make me feel one bit bad about myself. Made you more disgusting. Oh, and sleazeball, well, you do know the Lauren and Michelle, the Judge Peters group, the heavyset girls, the one lost a lot of weight, the one that you're supposed to be dating. You do know Pumpkin. She even admitted they drugged me and told me to say it before, in front of the cops. You know that, honey, right? Memorial Day weekend, 2021. I am sitting on the front porch on Fairlawn Street. Goons from Ravenna at the end of the street. I watch her drive by. She's yelling at him, "Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession," and it's echoing up the street. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. And they're admitting it. Where the originals already did an 18. Get the idea, honey. Even your girlfriend ratted you out. So we're going to put it this way. Are you people fucking crazy? You can't enter drug confessions. Are you fucking crazy? You can't enter stalking tapes either done by drug dealers in a drug scam. Are you fucking crazy? You can't enter me games of pretend. So you need to fucking leave me alone. And officers, every officer out there, I want you to chew on this one for a minute. Up in Fairlawn, they were saying the guy that was running this and doing it, so it's Willie, the sleazeball, is trying to prove the U.S. government and its people are so dumb they'll fall for anything. And where they go around to law enforcement, where they already said last year, we're trying to find somebody dumb enough to arrest her and stupid enough to do it with an open FBI case. No law enforcement would ever touch her. Oh, so when they talk to you and you don't arrest them, they think you're dumb and stupid and you need to start correcting this. And put these scammers, like they said, it's an extortion group, in jail. You know that guy, we're trying to get her kicked out of the witness protection program. You do know that's a 20-year sentence. It's tampering with a federal witness, bitch. And any officer hears them say they have tapes in my house before, you know, Agent John's girlfriend, June 26, 26, or, yeah, admitted in front of the Starr County Sheriff's. It's my family doing all this for me. They're stealing everything for me because she's a faker. I'm not a faker. I almost died from medical malpractice. Idiot. He has to pay the detail. Oh, God, heaven. The drug dealers we hired to do this to her taped her in the bathroom, washing herself. Photoshopped that in the other room to make her look weird with herself. They were making fun of her. Ha, ha, ha. There's a bunch of Starr County sheriffs in plain clothes. Which said something. July 5th, 26th, at a church. That girl that was laughing in the restaurant, she stole all the money from the case. It's that agent's girlfriend that he has to pay today. Well, what else did they hear? They're drug dealers. They already admitted. Judge Peters' group from Florida, the Human Traffickers, January to March of 19, that it was them hurting me and the ones hurting me before. And they were the ones in my home. Where that investigator said it was a human traffickers, it was a Florida group. Where Officer Mark, one of the lead investigators, March of 19. Officer Mark documented and verified August 22nd, 23. August 22nd, 23. Between noon and 1, that it's documented and verified as framed before, and it was a drug cartel in my home before they seen him. So, idiot today on a drug cartel scam where the other investigator, March 20th, 26, showed up from 18, working with a different FBI agent, told Tuscarawas County, down in Magnolia, they're investigators. What? This is documented me games of pretend, and that I had never heard anyone. And that it's a drug scam from the human traffickers. The ones that were here selling people. Oh. So you were going to say you're going to do what to me, bitch? I don't think so. Heard some girls outside my husband's room laughing. We seen what she wrote about John, Agent John. Does he realize he's the one that's going to get arrested off this? It was up on Google. Another FBI agent got arrested for stealing $1 million. Maybe it could be Bunky Spooky. You can say hi to all the drug dealers that you promised to get released. And make them $10 million for false arrest under fraud. For defrauding me. See, the FBI did not sanction a fraud case for you to buy a prostitute and pay off her drug debt. And to run a scam so drug dealers could be released and the cartel could make $10 to $25 billion. What are we going to do? Take your prostitute and the $10 to $25 billion, go to a non-extraditing country? Huh? Leave the country with it? See, that's where any other local police, they show up and say something to you, call the Starr County Sheriffs. Ask for the ones that weren't carrying around the house. FBI informant. Go to the Stark County Courthouse, talk to the Witness Protection Program. Tell the guys I said hi. See, they say, oh, we try to get her kicked out. Well, why do they want me kicked out? Because they want the drug dealers released. Because if there's not a victim calling for help, willing to stay there, while they got surveillance, being an informant with money and immunity, they defrauded me. Get the idea? And then there's no surveillance. If there's no Karen, there's no Karen around the house. For everything, the cornerstone of my case is me calling for help, willing to stay. Being an informant with money and immunity, while they surveillance me to find out who was behind the threats and the attempts on my life, and agree to help get information on them. I got them thousands of drug dealers, saved hundreds of people while they left me in hell. And you want the end solve of your case? Your agent was involved the whole time. His damning confession, the evidence, the recorded line. For we could always use Pete's tape, but weird with yourself. Who and what are you talking about? I thought, why are you laying on my brother? I haven't seen him in years. Talked to him on the phone. I thought, why has to be talking about somebody else? I don't know no Pete. He says my brother. Says something else. I said, I don't even know who or what you're talking about. He said, well, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor for sexual disorders or one of your brother. At that one point, I had to catch my breath. I wanted to scream, why don't you quit lying? And he's chuckling. Stop, she don't know. Well, he knew I didn't know. That's where it's sick. And I thought, why had that lady use my insurance? I'm trying to make sense to a scam. I thought, maybe it's one of hers. And I thought, you know what? I don't know what or who you're talking about. I don't know anything about them. And I'm trying to control my temper because I need help. While he's laughing. Well, the whole thing of it is, who's Pete? Who's the dirty doctor? Who is Henry Moffey? They're all the same person. His girlfriend's dad. The girlfriend he has to pay to date. The one another investigator called a prostitute. July 5th, 26 to people. A prostitute laughing how they fooled everyone. Which happens to be Caddy's family member. That proves you were part of the scam. Let's see. We're going to put it this way, Pookie. When they put your arrest warrant up on Google for you trying to defraud the government and aiding and abetting the drug cartel, I'm going to take a picture of it and put it up on the wall and put arrested. And if they send me a letter of thank you for helping get you and stopping you, it'll sit right next to it. Because with you being Katie's family member from that church, her boyfriend, that Michelle, which is her family member, that Pete, which is her dad, You were probably part of the 4 attempts on my life. If not, you picked it up afterwards. And when we moved up there, Melissa left John the Monday before we closed, which would have been May 21st, 2018. We closed on the 25th. By the 30th or 31st of 2018, they had already kicked in my door. And by the 7th, I'm covered in bruises, severely infected, throwing up, and almost passing out. I was already being drugged, being raped in the first 2 weeks, and I thought it was a dirty well water. Never seen her talk to anybody. Drugged and told to say stuff, Photoshop washing, and it kept happening, and I lost 18 pounds before I called the FBI. Never seen, never talked to anybody, never had anybody in my home. Seen by the doctor for injuries and being confused. So, we're gonna talk. Where they're telling people that you let your girlfriend's dad break in people's homes. That's automatic termination. 5 to 20 years. Nobody can be in my home. So you knew it was drug dealers they hired. You knew it was Judge Peter's group, right? Human traffickers in my home. You knew it was photoshopped or washing like your prostitutes had. And you knew they used hypnotic drugs, the Z drugs. They call it sleepwalking. And as a bitch move, drugged me up and told me to say something horrible and had me beat and raped under drugs so I wouldn't even know who did it to me. And I'd be so drugged up I would have thought it was the orange well water I showered in. Never see or talk to anybody. Right, Pookie? Part of having people raped in their homes? And framed by the human traffickers? And then when they waited for me to set up the house up there, get everything set up for Dave. Then they had people come start showing up at stores, threatening to knife me. People having Katie tell people in the mall that it's her church have been trying to kill me with attempts on my life. Scare me. Because you got to lead me into calling that FBI hotline. Dave hold me down how I have to die for his girlfriend. Call the hotline. You're ready to pick up that case. Because it's a big fraud. You got a fraud scheme going on somebody. Oh, your girlfriend, and her dad, and a drug dealer. And some human traffickers you hired. You told where that family admitted they were all lying to help them get away with it. Why were they helping them get away with it? Where Katie's telling everybody's helping out to steal for her family. That's why. And even Katie admitted to people that I never threatened her and just never meet her. March 30th, 26. She was lying for these people, for people to help out, so they get away with this. They wanted to steal for her family. Okay. We're going to put it that way. And she said she was getting even with me because in 03 I went and talked to her. And I ignored her 15 years before the case. So she's getting even with me. She acted too good when she went to our church. And when they found out that she was cheating with my brother-in-law Tim, and that's why we avoided her, nobody blamed me. And that nobody should help Katie again. March 30th, 26. So you had, being that your girlfriend's family member, you had her make that up, right? And then her church people, you had them make that up too. So it's a big production. So where I call the hotline, they drug, it's drug dealers in there. Drug me up so bad I can't answer the phone. I can't even wake up. So they can come in with an act of a lifetime. Acting like hysterical, crazy, occult people. Offended because someone called her a faker. Other ones saying, she's mean to me. I hadn't talked to her in years. You knew that. Like over 7 years. I only said hi when I walked by. Like she said, she never threatened me. She was never mean to me. They lied. Okay. So you probably had them make all that up. And so you could act all like, I'm going to defend the occult people that are killing people on a religious crusade. It was all an act. So you want the award-winning act, right? So that you can set up a fraud case. Scare this victim into calling for help, and it's your girlfriend's family having them doing it to her and their church people so they can steal from the government. Scare this victim, having a whole frame running on them, and they're so drugged up they don't know nothing. And then you grab and act like this super religious guy. Oh, I'm going to defend the occult people killing people. Go tell people you don't care I'm being drugged, being raped because somebody called me a faker 15 years before. Bullies me on a recorded line how you had all those church people in the office. How you knew where they were trying to kill me. And you didn't even blame them because some idiot called me a faker. You didn't happen to have that guy come up and threaten to knife me in the store to really scare me, right? That'd be really shitty of you. And then you made the mistake of making fun of me for your prostitute's dad and the scams. Proving you were part of it. And you knew I didn't know. That's how sick. Made me beg for my life. Open informant case. Threatened attempted life case. Attempted murder. Because there was attempts on my life. To get information. Willing to stay to be surveillance. Well, they got information of who was behind it. Then threatened me if I told, and you've already been seen telling hundreds and admitted everybody knew. Then it is a federal crime. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent? Telling an informant if they say anything, they won't get their money? It's 20 to life. It's blackmail. Like the Stark County Sheriff's, but they already knew you couldn't say it. It's blackmail. Obstruction, tampering with a witness, and extortion out of government funds. The money's for getting them information. It's a jail sentence for a judge signing it? Same. You can't go around tag teaming, blackmailing people. What's a jail sentence for an FBI agent? If tells an informant if they say something, they won't have protection. It's attempted murder. Aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction of justice, and tampering with a witness is 20 to 30 years. And what is a jail sentence for a judge signing it? Same. Like the Stark County Sheriff's, we all know he didn't have the authority to say it, and it was illegal, and it's blackmail. It's right on Google. Sheriffs said it. Police officers I talked to out of this area, criminal attorney and prosecutor's office. First Amendment, no one in the United States can tell you can't say anything but a judge in a jury trial. Or they even lose their license and go to jail. It's a severe abuse of authority than aiding and abetting crimes. Oh. See what I mean? They said you stole my money on the first day, December 2nd, 22. Been probably stealing for cases for a while. See, but the whole thing of it is, my deal isn't with you. My deal is with the FBI. Hired as an FBI informant. In a threatened attempt to life case, attempted murder. with money and immunity and statements of threat of life so they could, from everyone in that home. Well, they got surveillance on me to find out who was behind it. Unfortunately, it was one of their agents. See, that's where Agent John took a real case that they allowed to be created. And my life was in danger. I was almost kidnapped, almost carjacked, followed and rented. Time to break in. And then, dear God, your girlfriend's father was having human traffickers drug me for fake confessions, being rape me under drugs. My life was in a lot of danger. It's a real case. That's where the FBI needs to pay me and compensate me for injuries. Where the legal loophole of him not paying me. Write up a statement that I was willing to stay up there as an informant while you surveillanced me. Knowing I was facing personal injury and possible death. But staying there under my own will. Well, they got surveillance on these people, knowing I could be harmed or even killed. Knowing my First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, that other agent was bullying me, and the agency alone would be paying me and compensating me. Pay and compensate me, I'll sign it. You can notarize it. And you can take care of Pookie. And I'm sure those big drug dealers that he promised to get released and that they could sue for tens of millions of dollars, federal prison won't be so happy to see him. I heard some girls laughing. Does Agent John realize he's the one going to be going to jail for this? Everybody involved is going to. And then run around, we're going to destroy you. You ain't going to do jack shit. You need to shut up, or I need to buy a fly swatter, start smacking people in the forehead and stop being stupid. You can't do any of this. And you need to stop running around. And police officers, start arresting them. Don't wait for Agent John. He's behind it. Like the Stark County Sheriff's called down to the Tuscarawas County investigators. Told them they thought that agent was acting that way till he showed up at that courthouse and told that courthouse and Judge Lori there was no one around me. Calling me a liar and all kinds of crazy crap, trying to get the surveillance thrown out. And they got thousands off of this. Dear God, Maddie's friend 2 hours away knew about the Texas group on the police department. Got a hold of the U.S. Marshals. Used my case, got 800 in one swoop. Get the idea? And then got more and more and saved a lot of lives. They told Tuscarawas County a lot of big drug dealers went to jail. And they saved a lot of lives because of my case. I was found innocent of everything in 18. Get the idea. I'm going to upload this.